What's up, guys? Chris Wojcik here. I just got done competing at PGF Season 7 at 205 pounds. In this video, I'm going to break down some of my favorite matches from the week. So this first match I'm going to break down is a match with Dory Oun, A-O-U-N. I'm probably botching that pronunciation, but Dory's a four-time IBJJF World Champion, brown belt Nogi World Champion last year. He's been on Who's Number One. Very good, like, outside passer, and difficult, to kind of engage with his passing. So I'm going to kind of show you guys how I was able to address and eventually get a leg lock on someone who didn't want to engage with leg locks. So hit play. So Dory weighs like, he's bigger than me, but I don't know, everybody was bigger than me. I weighed like 188. So I started trying to wrestle because it's just kind of something I've been doing a lot recently at the beginning of matches, is just trying to wrestle and kind of feel my opponent out. And then after like 10 seconds, I decided to pull guard. And Dory was passing outside, so it was really hard to get inside attachments, like for false reap or, shin on shin. And he was also passing low on his knees like this, so he was kind of transitioning between low passing, probably for body locks, and outside passing, like kind of like rumble passing, but not, not how Dima shows it. And he was making it really hard for me to attach onto his legs. Here was kind of a good early attachment, and I tried to go Aoki and then pummel my legs inside. He attacked his own footlock, and I tried to use this to kind of create a double pull situation. I'm not really worried about this footlock here because my foot is protected. I am flexible, but I'm also just in a protected spot here. And I was able to use that him sitting back for the footlock to get up and play top. And one thing that I've been doing a lot is kind of trying to use my top game to find, I got an advertisement.
Mexican Ground Karate, B-Team Bulls, Simple Man Rashguards, Street X Merchandise, Foxcatcher Jiu Jitsu. These are all the world's best Jiu Jitsu merchandise.
Skip.
Shop BT merch.
So I was using body lock passing, and then he put me in closed guard, and so that kind of killed the body lock. And so I was trying to kind of just sit back for legs, I think, from here. Yep, because I knew that my big advantage with Dory was going to be in the leg locks. I almost had that Aoki. He even said afterwards, he's like, yeah, you really almost had that one. And then I go calf slicer and try to pummel inside, and then now I'm back playing guard. So Dory was doing a lot of outside movement. That was why I was trying to get on top, was because the outside passing can make it difficult to entangle the legs. And so what eventually led to the finish was the interplay between wrestling up and attacking the legs. Got Weird Al reffing. The other thing, too, that was giving me confidence was the way that Dory was engaging. He was really cagey, which I think to me meant that he wasn't very confident in his leg lock defense, which to me meant that once I get in on the leg, I'm going to finish it. Here he goes double underpass, which is another thing that people do generally when they're worried about leg locks, because you're pretty much as low to the ground as possible. Here I'm also starting to threaten wrestle ups because I was having a hard time doing kind of traditional leg entries. So I was kind of mixing wrestling up with my K-guard, false reap, this kind of stuff. And although it was sub only, I am starting to use wrestling up in this rule set because you need to have the ability to get on top and pass, and you need to have a dangerous guard. You need to be well-rounded, especially in a rule set where a lot of guys are just going to try to not give up a sub. And we reset in the middle. Shout out to Constellation Network for sponsoring the team. So we go 2-on-1 to a K-guard to a De La Hiva. I'm attacking both legs. I attack K-guard on the left side, deep De La Hiva on the right side. And I also attack both arms. I attack a Choi bar on one side and kind of like a straight arm bar on the other side. So it's good to have attacks to all of your partner's limbs, and then also obviously for their neck as well. I was really using this 2-on-1 grip. As we were starting to get to the end of the match, I was having a hard time making kind of attachments, so I think this is about to be the wrestle up. I was starting to kind of give up passes in order to force engagement, and you'll see that something that I did a lot this weekend. Okay, so we got about 2 minutes left. At this point, I'm starting to get worried that I'm going to have another draw, because I had 4 matches without a sub before this, and in PGF, you really want to avoid a bunch of draws, because you get 0 points for a draw. It's not like the World Cup where you get 1. See another instance where I kind of give up a pass. So here I shoot in on a double. I'm able to lock my hands, drive him down, and then immediately when I feel the leg extend, I sit back for the Aoki and I throw my right leg across. Kind of like a reaping Aoki, which is like the strongest variation of the Aoki that you can do. And I actually covered this finish in the instructional that we filmed a couple weeks ago, Woj Lock the World. It's going to be available very soon on BJJ Fanatics. So that was my first match that I wanted to break down. All right, so the second match is against Cam Hurd. Cam is a ADCC trials. He made top 16. He wrestled Division I. He's got like 25 years of wrestling experience. And as for me as like a guard player, this was kind of a tough matchup stylistically, especially too because now we're on day 4 of the tournament when I'm starting to get tired. This was my 10th match in 4 days. And also too, Cam had watched me hit 3 leg locks in the last like day. So he knew that I was going to try to leg lock him. And as a guy who, you know, we also had a conversation earlier that week. Because this is the thing about PGF that's a little different is you're kind of stuck with the guys that you're competing against for the whole week. And so like you're talking and people say things. And I knew that leg locks were kind of one of his weaknesses. So I was like, I got to leg lock this guy. And he was thinking that he had to not get leg locked. So this was, like I said, and this was also a match where I needed to start getting some points because I was like on the playoff bubble. And I needed to get like either 6 points for a choke or just like an early leg lock, like in the first minute, so I could get 4, and that would have locked my spot in the playoffs. I think size-wise, Cam is a little bigger than me, but not like he's not big like Dory was big, Ryan Aitken is big, Kyle Bain, they're really big. Cam and I are a bit closer in size. He's just kind of like a thicker, better at wrestling version of me. So right away I sit to guard because I knew how good his wrestling was. And I think that this is a good match to look at too because this was a match where I was starting to deal with like kind of the fatigue that you'll see. And I wasn't as, like I didn't feel as sharp as I did in the match with Dory where I felt like everything was really tight. By this match I was more like, it was more of like a war as opposed to just like a chess match. And so early on, I'm trying to enter legs, but he's doing a really good job of staying low and doing like really good rumble passing outside, running around. And I was having a really hard time making any sort of attachment. He did have like an elbow sleeve on, and so I was trying to attack this Choi bar. And I was giving up a lot of like space on the guard. I was kind of giving up a lot of my retention to attack the arm bars. Did a lot of spinning. I don't think he passed my guard, but he did like have some really deep pass attempts. I may be wrong there, but we'll see. I also watched Cam get Choi bar the day before, so I was like, oh, maybe I can get a Choi bar on this guy. Here I tried to wrestle up, because just like the match with Dory, it's like that. I want to have that interplay between wrestling up and attacking arms and legs. Here I go for my reverse fall sweep, which is essentially giving up a calf slicer. There's actually another video on the B Team YouTube page where I break down how you can do that. Here we go off the mat, and I missed the leg lock. And this was kind of a theme early in the match. I was having a really hard time getting in on my leg locks on Cam, and he was, anytime I got close, he would just bolt away. You know, he had really good defense. He's got kind of short legs, and he's, you know, really thick. So it was really hard to enter the legs. Here he had a deep pass attempt. This was his best pass attempt. He got me to turtle. I feel really good about my turtle and front headlock escapes, though, so I was able to just kind of clear the grips and sit. And then he goes straight back into rumble passing and kind of goes for this scoop grip. And I was trying to use this scoop grip to get like a counter attack of my own, but he was doing a really good job of keeping his base really low. Nice split squat position here. So now from here, I start to go like deep De La Riva K-guard. He attacks a toe hold. And this toe hold was actually pretty tight. Not like gonna tap me, but definitely like enough that I had to disengage. So it was really like kind of a sneaky attack. And I wasn't expecting him to even touch my legs like at all. The big thing I remember from this match is just how tired I was afterwards. The pace was like super high. So I remember when we had this like stop for blood time, I was like catching my breath. So I'm trying to use 2-on-1 grips to get to the outside to attack either, here we go, reverse fall sweep again, but see how my leg is in the way here? So I actually go for like a weird arm bar off of this right now, and I did not get it, but it was, you know, something cool to try. I was starting to get a little bit frustrated as well because he was doing a really good job of like staying away from what I was good at. So I had to kind of go to other aspects of my game. And once again, you'll see I'm attacking arm bar on the right arm bar on the left arm, and then K-guard and either shin on shin or fall sweep on the leg. So I'm trying to attack, and deep De La Riva. So I'm trying to attack all 4 points of contact in his passing so that I can be aggressive from the guard. Here I try to wrestle up, and then I use the wrestle up to sit back and almost get passed again. So I turtle and then get back, and this is a cool scramble, kind of like spinning through. I don't think he would have got pass points for that, but it was like a really good passing attempt and, you know, forced me into some late stage retention. And then now I know I'm tired because I pulled close guard, which I never do unless I'm like absolutely dying. And then we reset in the middle. And at this point I'm thinking, like, all I was thinking was like, this dude is really tough and I'm gonna probably have to like either break his leg or choke him if I'm gonna get the finish in this match. And like I said, also too, I was on the bubble for the playoffs during this match, so I really needed a finish here. Close guard buggies don't work. Don't do them. Maybe J-Rod could do them. So here I go K-guard, but again, he cleared the knee line right away. And then now I use him disengaging on the K-guard to wrestle up and come on top. And now that I'm like actually on top and I've got him pinned flat on the mat, now I'm in a really good spot. And this is where like the experience gap in our jiu-jitsu, because I think Cam was he's either a purple or a brown belt, and I've been training jiu-jitsu for quite a bit longer than him. So once I got him out of his comfort zone, I was in a really good spot. And I was able to lock in this arm triangle, and it was tight as hell. Like, he was gurgling. He's about to put his arm up like he's gonna tap. Wait for it. He's gonna put his arm up in a second here. I swear. I was squeezing so hard. Yeah, he puts his arm up like he's gonna tap, and then he just bulldogs out of it, which is crazy. Like, Cam Hurt is like one of the toughest motherfuckers I've ever competed against. He's super tough. And he just like literally just muscled out of this arm triangle, which maybe makes me think that I need to get more muscles. But either way, he kind of turtles. I take the back. And I made sure, before the ref stopped us, I made sure to lock in a body triangle because I didn't want to reset on the back without a body triangle and have him like bulldoze out of like another strong position for me. And I also knew that he had just been we got another advertisement. Get compensated. Skip this one. I knew that he was really tired because he almost tapped to a choke. So he was really tired at this point, and I had a whole minute on the back to work. So I just needed to be really strong with my body triangle and attack like kind of double arm over rear naked choke. So the ref is, Weird Al is resetting us. Okay. So I go kind of like some Nick Rod arm switching, Ethan arm switching stuff. Go left arm deep, but I end up bringing my right arm across to get the finish. So I go right arm across, but it's not quite in yet. And then I remember he grabbed both my hands, and I had a moment here where I was like, what the fuck do I do now? And so then I go back to a seat belt. I've got wrist control on my right side, and then I switch, right arm across again. Here, at this point, it's almost on, but not quite. And then I do one more switch, get the arm back, and then I'm able to get rear naked choke. And that is my second match. So PGF was in Vegas. I got into Vegas on Saturday, and I knew it was gonna be a long week. And I went to LA and did a seminar afterwards, so I was like gone for like a really long time, but it didn't hit me how long I was gonna be gone until I checked in at the hotel, and the reservation said 7 nights. And I was like, wow, that's a really long time to be away, you know, away from the gym, away from my girlfriend, away from the dogs, you know, just being like, just in competition mode for that long. And I didn't really know what to expect in terms of like, you know, is this gonna be like more like a week of training? Is it gonna be more like a tournament? And the reality is it's kind of like a tournament, but it's a little bit different because I was guaranteed 12 matches. So like in most tournaments, you have this like win or go home thing that you're always feeling. Like I have to win, otherwise I lose and someone else is taking my spot. At PGF, you're guaranteed 12 matches, which is a lot for anybody. So I wasn't really like, you know, it was pretty easy, especially the first few days, to kind of just be friends with everybody and kind of just enjoy the competition experience. And obviously it was stressful and the matches were hard, everyone was giant, so that was hard. But it wasn't like a win or go home kind of thing. It was more like we're all competing together so we can all kind of get along. And then as the week went on, things started to get more and more tense, and it not like bad blood, but like it was just more serious because the team race kind of happened and like one team was kind of pulling away. So then like the teams that are losing, guys started taking breaks. So that kind of creates like kind of this like tension between some of the teams. And also too, you have this like looming thing of the playoff race. So the top 8 competitors out of 20 get into the playoffs on Friday night. And Friday night just felt like a normal tournament. It was like win or go home. But it was also not like a normal tournament because we had just done 4 days. So it was like a normal tournament, but like 3 times as like exhausting because I had 12 matches before my first playoff match. And then I had like 3 more matches all against guys who had proved themselves all week by like submitting people in that rule set. And 2 were just like giant dudes. I had Ernesto in my first match in the playoffs, and he's like my size. So that was not as physically like daunting, you know, 'cause it was more like the technical war. But my second match, I had Marcin Maculevich, who's from Poland. He won the Euro trials at 99. I was able to win an EBI overtime. And then in the finals, I had Ryan Aitken. And it was a hard match, but I managed to secure the silver medal at the PGF. And so, you know, it was like a super tough tournament. And it kind of felt like Jiu Jitsu summer camp a little bit. Like it was like so much happened in such a short time. Like kind of like when you go to a sleepaway camp and like you're like doing shit all day, every day. So you're only gone for a week, but it feels like a bunch of different stuff happened. That's kind of like what PGF was just like a really like busy week. And then like you're at the venue for like 8 hours a day for 5 days. And that's like, and you're in this kind of heightened state, like this like fight or flight state. So like you just like so much, it feels like so much is happening. And then like I come back here and I'm like, oh, it's just another week of training back home. So it was like so much happened. I feel like I aged, but also it was only a week. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to follow me, I am at Chris M. Wojcik, Wojcik, on Instagram. If you want to learn the leg lock finish in this video and some of the other leg lock finishes that I hit at PGF, I have a leg lock DVD, Woj Lock the World, dropping very soon on BJJ Fanatics. So you can get that and you can learn how to leg lock everybody. I will also be competing at EBI on December 14th in Cancun, Mexico. I'll be in the 170 pound bracket with guys like Davis Asari and my arch nemesis Kieran Kachuk and some very other tough 170 pounders. So make sure you tune in on UFC Fight Pass December 14th and watch me. And make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the B Team YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.